No, I'm kidding. What's up, everybody? Joe Davi here, back at it again with another deck profile. I've got something super special for you guys. Pardon the layout, and there's no B-roll because I'm actually doing this live on my Twitch. If you don't follow me yet on Twitch, I do a lot of live gameplay and deck testing. Just link down below. But that said, I actually played in Gaia Force Gaming's local tournament, and I played my own version of pure black Machinedramon, Chaosdramon build, and it went really well. I managed to beat Jesmon, I managed to beat yellow-purple hybrid. I lost to yellow hybrid because they had like a turn 2 Susanomon, it was just insane. And I lost to Lilith Loop simply because, okay? Simply because of a single Jack raid. The last check that could have won me the game, it was a Jack raid, but that's okay. We're gonna dive right into the deck profile. So first, we're going with the eggs. I'm running 4 copies of Kapurimon and 1 copy of Pagumon. So the 4 copies of Kapurimon are because you want to take advantage of as many DP gaining things as you can, as you will see in the options that I run later. While this Digimon has blocker, it gains plus 1000 DP, which is cool. And the Pagumon just allows for a little bit more consistency. On deletion, reveal the top card of your deck, add it to your hand. If it's a black Digimon, add it to your hand, otherwise send it to the bottom, etc. So the Pagumon, I almost never hate seeing it because I'm always going to use it at some point in the game, whether it's early, late, or mid, early, mid, or late. Okay, so next we're running 4 copies of the Toy Agu from the structure deck. All turns, while this Digimon is a blocker, it actually gets plus 1000 DP. So no matter whether it's my opponent's turn or my turn, I'm getting that DP boost if there is a blocker stack, which really helps towards this deck's win condition, which you'll see in a moment. This is a side deck option. So we're running 3 copies of Chikrimon. So it's just a security effect that allows you to de-digivolve 1 on one of your opponents. Very good. It's come clutch for me against Jesmon. It's come clutch for me by de-digivolving a Susanomon in the tournament. It went really well. So I'm keeping it. However, depending on the matchup, like when I was facing Lilith Loop, I think that Chumon would have been a better option. So depending on the side deck, if they allow side decks in the future, Chumon is the option there. And lastly, we are running 3 copies of Hagurumon because of the Machinedramon archetype. Obviously, on play, you may trash 1 Digimon card with Machine or Cyborg in its traits from your hand to draw 2. And as much as all the other decks or cards in the deck require you to trash a level 5 Digimon, this can actually let you trash any Digimon. So if you're kind of bricked out and seeing all of your level 6s, just trash a level 6 because it's not a big deal in this type of deck. And then you can just draw 2 and unbrick yourself, which is really nice. Level 4s, we are running 4 copies of this Gardramon. This guy's actually a beast. It's a blocker, it can't attack, boohoo. But when attacking as an inheritable effect, you may trash 1 card that is Machine or Cyborg in its traits to draw 2. So once again, it's an unbricking machine, and it sets up Machinedramon and the whole archetype really well. Next, what people don't really expect is the 3 copies of Machinedramon. People think Machinedramon, people think Kaiser Nail Machinedramon. Not necessarily the case with me. I personally like these 3 copies of Mechanori because with the Agumon, or the Toy Agumon, actually becomes a 7k DP blocker all turns, and 7k is actually pretty decent in the meta right now. Most level 5s are 7k that people are running, especially in yellow. And if you can trade off a Jet Sylphie, then they're not going into their Mega, which is even better. So they probably won't do that. And you can just basically restand off the little things. Next, we are running 2 copies of Grumblemon and 1 copy of Gigasmon as my hybrid tech. So the 2 Grumblemon is literally just a swing for game type thing, or just another set of 4s if I brick. And Gigasmon is just that clutch blocker. Sometimes I literally need 1 blocker to win me the game. And if I can Digivolve over a Tamer to go into that blocker, putting my opponent to an awkward amount of memory because it is a 3 cost to Evo, then you are in a good spot. Next, going into the level 5s, there's gonna be quite a few tech choices here for the Machinedramon meta, or match up, or deck. Bruh. 2 copies of Volcanomon. So inheritable effect during your turn, if while your opponent has an unsuspended Digimon in play, you get security attack +1. So this build that I'm running is a hyper aggressive build. It's a build that people don't expect because you are required to set up in Machinedramon, you kind of want to set up your trash, etc., etc. This doesn't necessarily need you to set up trash to win the game. But yeah, 2 copies of that, also a cyborg. Next, we're running 2 copies of Megadramon. So with all the Pokemon and crap running around, being able to hard play Megadramon on play can actually delete 3k DP or less Digimon, 2 of them in fact, which is really nice. And while this Digimon has Machine in its traits, you actually get Security Attack +1. So you are doing a lot of hyper-aggressive plays with Volcanomon or Volcamon and Megadramon. Together, when they're in the same stack, you can potentially get 3 checks just off this, and you can get way more with what I play. Next, we're running 2 copies of Megadramon. During your turn, you get an increase, like a huge DP boost. This Digimon is also treated as black, so it's a safe evo into Machinedramon, but I'm running Chaosdramon here. So Chaosdramon, during my turn, can actually swing over things now because of the extra 2k DP boost, which is really awesome. Next, we're running 2 copies of Megadramon. Megadramon is super needed in the deck because he's a blocker, inheritable, and you get a lot of DP boost with the Toyagumon, with the Kapurimon, and all that from the blocker inheritable. So this is always a good inheritable to go into, and you can mix and match what you want to do depending on the situation, and I think this is awesome. And now I have 3 individual tech choices from the EX set. We're running 1 copy of this Andramon. It's a searcher, so I can get into my Chaosdramon or Machinedramon much faster, and it trashes the remaining cards, which is really good for consistency in the deck. And it gives my opponent, well, during my opponent's turn, as an inheritable skill, Andramon actually gives the Digimon blocker, which is just another way to secure the DP boosts through Toyagumon and whatnot. Next, running 1 copy of Metal Tyrannomon. Again, same Digivolution effect as the other EX cards for level 5 in this slot. You may reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 level 6 Digimon with Machine in its traits from among them, so that's Machinedramon and the Chaosdramon. And during your opponent's turn, as an inheritable skill, it actually gives Machines Reboot, which is really good. Only the one of, because I don't always usually need Reboot, and there's a very good reason why, you'll find out in the end. 1 copy of Metal Mamimon, because sometimes you're 1 shy from winning, so you need another turn, and your opponent has lethal on board because of that extra body. The Metal Mamimon could be enough to delete that extra body. In addition to that, it's another searcher, so for more added consistency. Haven't really had the chance to use this as often, but I know that it'll come in clutch when needed, which is why I don't mind that at all. For the Megas, we're running 4 copies of Machinedramon. So this is actually something that is unexpected. It's not Machinedramon, sorry. 4 copies of Chaosdramon. This is a little unexpected, but I love Chaosdramon, and I think there's a lot of working ground here, so which is really good. Your Machinedramon can digivolve into this card from your hand for a memory cost of 1. So it never feels bad to go just straight Machinedramon because you're getting the inheritable effects off the entire stack, and next turn you're going to Chaos for 1 and popping things, which is really good. When digivolving, you can actually place 1 red or black level 5 card with cyborg in its traits from your hand to the top of this Digimon's Digivolution sources. So that source that you're adding, because it's going to end up at the top, you can actually play around blue a little bit there, putting the best source at the top that you can, and then you can delete Digimon that are 6k DP or less for each source that you've put. And what I've found about Chaosdramon is just going straight into Chaosdramon and using that effect is already 2 Digimon that you're killing that are 6k DP or less. And if you're looking into the blue matchup, that could be Korikakumon, that could be Kumamon, that could be Bokomon, that could be a bunch of different things that you are already killing that could potentially like strip your sources or freeze you. So there's a lot of pacing involved playing against blue, but it's definitely doable if you do it this way. If you go the pure Machinedramon route, it's going to be a lot more difficult. But yeah, very good card overall. Love it. Next, we're running 2 copies of this Machinedramon. Only 2, right? Surprise, surprise. On play, you obviously can take up to 5 Digimon from your hand or trash that are red or black and that are level 5, cyborg or machine or whatever. And then gain 1 memory back for each one you've added. So effectively, at max efficiency, Machinedramon is a 7 cost, and you get a bunch of really cool inheritables. During all turns, this Digimon's DP cannot be reduced, and during all turns, when this Digimon would be deleted, you just trash 2 sources. So the play here is really insane because I could Digivolve into Chaosdramon just straight up, and then if Chaosdramon dies, all those sources are going to my trash, and that could potentially build up a hard play Machinedramon if I die in security, which is why it almost never feels bad. And then next turn, you go into another Chaosdramon. Insane. And surprise, surprise, running 2 copies of Blitz Omnimon. This is your swing for game, or if you have the absolutely amazing advantage currently, you can just go into Blitz Omnimon from your Chaosdramon and get game that way. So remember what I said about hyper aggressive plays, guys? You're looking at Megadramon, Pile Volcamon, and that's a Chaosdramon that's going to be swinging for 3 checks at least 12k. And then when you go into Omnimon, you unsuspend Chaosdramon, or you unsuspend the Blitz Omni, swing for another 3 checks. So you're wiping out security in this one stack alone. And it's super duper powerful because the Omni will actually protect your stack as well. So unless they can swing over Omnimon, that Omni is going to stay on the board with your opponent having 0 security. And if you've got something in raising, you generally have game because nobody plays blockers in this meta. For Tamers, it's going to be all over the place. 1 copy of Izzy, just for that consistency, just for that memory Tamer, and just to gain that extra memory. 1 copy of Izzy and Joe. I have not seen value from Izzy and Joe. I might just add another structure deck tie, the 2-cost tie. 1 copy of the red tie Kamiya, because that extra security attack +1 can actually come super duper duper clutch. And with Chaosdramon, it's an easy sec +1 gains, right? You lose it when you go into Blitz Omni, but if you can swing for 4 or 5 checks with Chaosdramon, you're golden. You know what I mean? You can go into Blitz Omni for game, and that's a true OTK. Lastly, I should have kept all the Tamers there. Lastly, 1 copy of this structure deck tie, which I will probably make 2 and remove the Joe, because this is so clutch. During your opponent's turn, when you use blocker to suspend one of your Digimon, you may unsuspend this Tamer to unsuspend one of your Digimon. In addition to that, it's 2 costs, so it's a very good bridge to a hybrid, which is very much needed. Next, we're running 2 copies of Analog Youth for added consistency. Allows me to unbrick myself and put my opponent to the least amount of memory. Also, if Chaosdramon ends up swinging for everything and dies somehow, Analog Youth will gain me the memory to extend my ability to play out Machinedramon from my hand with the least amount of memory possible, giving being sent over, which is really great. Option time, we're running 2 copies of Ultimate Connection. So this guy is just more added consistency once again. The hardest decision is when you open with Ultimate Connection and 1 level 5. Because the decision is, do I want to use this level 5 to Digivolve, or do I want to use it to gain 2 memory and then draw? Because if you don't draw into that 5 and you never see one again, you're in big, big trouble. So there's a lot of skill involved in playing this card, but from security, it's a Hammer Spark if you have the ability to use it, basically trashing a cyborg, etc. Very good card. And this is the kicker. 2 copies of Final Zubagon Punch. So effectively, this is all I need. This guy, and where are you, bud? This guy. So effectively, I only really need this Megadramon that adds plus 2k DP, and I only really need Chaosdramon, because that is immediately 14,000 DP. So if I use Final Zubagon Punch, that puts Chaosdramon at 17,000 DP, and everything is on. Now you have a Chaosdramon that can swing for 2 checks, will have blocker, reboot, and 17k until the end of your opponent's next turn. But here's the beauty of this deck, right? Say I have to hard play Megadramon. I have no choice but to hard play Megadramon. It's a 6 cost, which is not bad. I Digivolve into Chaosdramon, and now I can add either Pile Volcamon, or not Pile, but Volcanomon and Megadramon. I can add either of these guys and place it to the top of the stack. So let's place that, right? So now we have a pure red stack, whatever, that's fine. Now you're looking at Sec +1 off the Megadramon, Sec +2 off the Final Zubagon. So now you're swinging for 3 checks, 17k, and you're deleting 2 Digimon with 6k DP or less. And then if you go into Blitz Omni, that's 6 security just gone immediately. And a body that's going to stick, and potentially something in raising. So it's an absolute threat. I think Final Zubagon Punch is kind of like what makes this deck super genius, because you can actually out OTK Jesmon, because you're technically faster than Jesmon. Jesmon requires Sistermon, Jesmon requires the perfect stack, whatever. Technically, you're faster than Jesmon if you can see just Megadramon, Chaosdramon, and a single Zubagon Punch, which is awesome. And last but not least, just one copy of Ultimate Flare. You guys know what it does. De-Digivolve up to 3, and then if there is, and then delete all Digimon with a play cost of 3 or less. So that's the deck. I could have gone 3-1 in the tournament out of 4 rounds, which would have really bumped me up in the standings and made this deck more appealing than it actually is. However, if you watch the Twitch, the VOD is going to be up, so you guys feel free to enjoy that. Twitch.tv/Jajabi. You guys can enjoy that. But that's it. That's the deck profile. Let me know what you think in the comments, whether you like it, whether you want to play it. Let me know if it's performed well for you. Sorry, once again, there's no high-tech B-roll, no fancy stuff I'm going for right now. My fiance actually has my camera. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed it.